Sometimes a town does not lose a business because customers disappeared. It loses the business because the owner was ready to retire and nobody was ready to take over. The sign comes down. The employees scatter. Customers drive further. Years of knowledge leave with one person. That is not only a closing, it is a succession failure. And prepared veteran buyers could become part of the solution. In episode 7, we looked at buying an existing business from the buyer's perspective. Now, turn the camera around. Imagine you spent 30 years building a company. Your name is connected to the work. Employees built their lives around the income. Customers know who to call. Suppliers know how you operated. Then the moment comes when you want or need to step away. What happens next? Succession is not only a financial event, it is the transfer of responsibility. A functioning local business is a web of promises. The company promises customers that the work will be done. It promises employees that payroll and leadership will be dependable. It promises suppliers that invoices will be paid. It promises lenders that the debt will be managed. It promises regulators that standards will be followed. And over time, it makes an informal promise to a community. This service will stand here when people need it. When ownership changes, those promises do not transfer automatically. They have to be examined, communicated, and earned again. That is why a succession plan cannot begin the week before the owner wants to leave. Sellers care about price. They should. The business may represent a major part of retirement, family wealth, and a lifetime of risk. But many sellers also care about what happens after the check clears. Will employees be respected? Will customers continue receiving good service? Will the name remain credible? Will the buyer protect what made the company work? Will family members be treated fairly? Those questions are not sentimental distractions. They can affect deal structures, transition time, seller financing, training, and which buyer earns trust. A veteran buyer should not exploit that trust. Words like service, duty, and legacy carry weight. They must be matched by preparation, transparency, and performance. The buyer needs more than access to a listing. The buyer needs enough information to determine whether the company is viable and whether the role fits. That includes financial records, customer concentration, employee structure, equipment, contracts, working capital, market conditions, and the seller's actual responsibilities. It also includes a personal question. Am I prepared to lead this company? Or am I attracted to the idea of being an owner? Those are not the same thing. That's not the same. The company may require early mornings, technical expertise, licensing, sales availability, difficult personal decisions, and years of reinvestment. The buyer must respect the work as it exists before imagining how to change it. A transferable business does not have to be perfect, but it should be understandable. Financial records should allow a qualified professional to trace performance. Customer relationships should not exist only inside the owner's memory. Processes should explain how work moves from inquiry to delivery to payment. Important contracts, permits, leases, insurance, and intellectual property should be identifiable. Employees should know their roles. Deferred maintenance and known problems should be disclosed. And the seller should be able to explain what the buyer must learn during transition. Owners who want to preserve legacy can begin this work years before a sale. Document the company, develop managers, clean the records, reduce unnecessary dependence on one customer or one person. Build a realistic timeline. Those steps can make the business easier to operate today while making the future succession more credible. Now, imagine a responsible system connecting prepared buyers with prepared sellers, not a public list exposing confidential companies, not a promise that every veteran gets a deal, a structured bridge. One side, owners receive education on readiness, valuation, confidentiality, transition options, and what information qualified buyers need. On the other, veterans receive education on acquisition, financing, industry fit, challenges, operations, and leadership after closing in the middle of qualified professionals. Protect the legal, tax, accounting, financing, insurance, and transaction work. The process screens it for fit. It does not force a match. It protects, identifies until disclosure is authorized. It measures success beyond closing day. Did the company survive? Did the employees remain? Did customers continue receiving value? Could the debt be serviced? Did the buyer build capability? Did the seller's transition occur? That is what an ethical succession system should care about. We also need one important limit. Not every business should be preserved. A company may be losing customers for good reasons. Its equipment may be obsolete. Its margins may be not support a buyer's debt. The records may be unreliable. The culture may be harmful. Its market may be disappearing. Saving Main Street does not mean trapping a veteran inside somebody else's failing model. It means identifying viable companies, preparing honest transitions, and giving capable buyers a fair chance to continue creating value. Local chambers, lenders, SBDCs, veteran organizations, accountants, attorneys, and economic deployment offices can help owners discuss succession earlier. They can host confidential education. They can help founders understand the difference between selling assets and transferring an operating company. They can build referral networks without exposing private information, and they can help prepared veterans learn that starting from zero is not the only honorable path. Communities can also encourage owners to begin before illness, exhaustion, or crisis removes their choices. An early conversation creates time to improve records, reduced owner dependence, developed managers, and prepare a buyer responsibly. Waiting until the doors are about to close turns succession into rescue. Planning early turns it into stewardship. Continuing good work is also creation. Protecting jobs is also leadership. Carrying a company into its next chapter is also legacy. Main Street is not saved by nostalgia. It is saved when useful businesses remain capable, trusted, and owned by people prepared to lead them. The seller deserves an honest transition. The buyer deserves complete diligence. Employees and customers deserve clarity, and the community deserves outcomes, not slogans. In episode 9, we will take this question beyond Main Street and into rural America, where distance, infrastructure, agriculture, and smaller markets change the economics of ownerships. Some of the greatest opportunities are not in the largest cities. They are in the places where one capable business can hold an entire community together. So subscribe to VestVet so you hear the next episode.